Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. And double honors to that apostles of the great millstone that taught me this truth, and as well as including the bishops as well. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham to the 140 and 4,000, and also the 1/3, whom this gospel is for overall. And it's your brother Laban coming at you with another video. And what I want to do on this right here is go over Revelations 28 to also, not 28, 20 and verse 8 to verse 9. And because just watching my last video just a little bit, I kind of went off on a few things from verse 8 to verse 9. And I just want to correct things and, just to make it very more clearer, because I was, going on the rant. So when you're going on the rant, you're just flowing. But, I want to look at these two verses more in depth and correct myself just a little bit. In reading verse 8, which we'll begin by reading verse 8 here, and as it goes as far as to read, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, and the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So we know that obviously this is talking about, or if you don't know, this is referring to an empire that would be loosed. In other words, the Roman Empire once again would be revived for a short span of time after we've basically put them into captivity during the time of the Middle Ages. Okay, so they came out, and this is why you had the period which was called the Renaissance period, which the Renaissance period, or the term Renaissance, which really means rebirth. I believe it's a French word which means rebirth. And really what was being rebirthed was the Roman Empire from the 1400s. So that's what this dragon's talking about, or this devil and Satan, which will be loosed. And we're at the end of the little season right now as it stands, as I've explained in my last video as well. Just like I said, I just want to do this again because I went off I went off half of a bit in going into this. So I just want to get this correct. All right. So, and I forgot to mention the Renaissance period as well. Yeah. So now going to verse 8, once again, and shall go out and deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And we know that ancient Rome did not control the whole planet Earth. They're controlling the whole planet Earth right now through their media and, their political power, so to speak, to gather them together to battle, and the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Now, when you read the book of Ezekiel, 38, it actually tells you that Gog and Magog, they're going to have great nations that are going to be assembled with them. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, because I want to get into the point which is in verse 9 now. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven to devour them. So what was the fire that came down from heaven to devour them? The nukes that will be dropped. And this is going to take place in some time right around the corner. They're in this third wall, which is going to be physically active. And what is going to happen is that Russia is going to basically invade the land of Israel. Now, when you go to the book of Ezekiel 38 and verse 16, which is what verse 9 is relating to, it reads this. Okay, so this reads, and let's begin by reading verse 14 to get the understanding, right? And therefore, son of man, prophesy, saying unto Gog, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it. Of course, all of the nations are going to know it. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, and all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. In verse 16, this reads, and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. And it shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before thy eyes. So right here, again, this is metaphorical talk. This is not literal, because it reads that the Gogites, that's just how I'm putting it, they're going to come against, as it reads, my people of Israel, right? As the cloud to cover the land. Because the land of Israel is where we're going to be at. Once again, we're going to be there in the land of Israel. But once we're in the land of Israel, there isn't going to be any war. That's in the book of Isaiah chapter 2 and many other places we can go in the scriptures to solidify that. So what is this talking about? Meaning that in the times of the third woe, which is right upon us, Russia is going to do something. And that something is that they're going to what? Invade the interiors of Israel and drop nukes on that place. Or however they're going to destroy that place. But it's going to be nuked. Okay? So I'm going to read verse 16 again. And thou shalt come against my people of Israel as the cloud to cover the land. And it shall be in the latter days, which we're in right now. And I will bring thee against, and I will bring thee against my land. And that's what it's saying, that the heathen may know me when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. So it's telling you, half of the scripture is telling you that the Lord is going to bring the Magog and the Gogites, which are the modern day Russians today, towards the land of Israel. And it mentions that the heathen may know me. Okay. So the heathen are obviously dwelling in the land right now. We're not dwelling in the land right now. Again, so, when you read this, it's metaphorical talk. It's talking about the land that will be invaded, the same land that we're going to dwell in. But we're not going to be there when obviously Russia's fighting against the allies of the West. Because once we get back home, that land is going to be a peaceful land. And the nations are going to know that we're going to be in a peaceful habitation. And there is going to be peace even among the nations when we get into the land. So this is just basically saying that, look, again, going back to the book of Revelations 20 and 9, which is what Ezekiel 16 was basically going into. But what Revelation is doing, Revelations 20 and 9 is reiterating the point. From verse 16 in Ezekiel 38. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about. And this is talking about Gog and Magog, and the beloved city, and the fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. Devoured who? Devoured those heathens that were there, that are there today, in verse 10, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beasts and the false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. So this whole entire system, even this religious aspect of it, is going to be destroyed. What is the religion aspect of this system? The Roman Catholic institution. So the beast is referring to this system, and the false prophet is referring to the Roman Catholic institution. So this whole entire society, from the spiritual aspect of it to the physical aspect of it, is going to be destroyed. So verse 9 is basically talking about how Gog and Magog is going to invade the land of the saints in this time. Because when we get down to that land, we're not going to be warring. There's not going to be no war. So when you read it, it sounds like that's going to be the case. It sounds like, okay, well, shit. We're going to be setting up the kingdom, and then there's going to be this war happening. There's going to be air jet fighters coming across from Russia, and they dropping pocket bombs, and nukes are going off, and fire is going to come out of the heavens. That's not going to happen when we're stationed in the kingdom. It sounds like that's going to be the case, but it's metaphorical. It's parabolic. All right. So that's all I really wanted to say, because I forgot to mention a couple of things and elaborate more on this right here, which is to do with the Bishop Nathaniel from the IUIC totally going off on this. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this right here. Just to keep it short. Just wanted to correct a couple of things. Shalom.